Fly. If I haven't met you, nice to meet you. If I have met you, nice to see you as always. Today I was thinking of what I wanted to share and thinking of what I could do besides making you all meditate with me like I always do. And I gotta say, I couldn't get away with it. For the first couple of minutes, I'm gonna take some deep breaths with everybody. But then I want to talk about intimacy a little bit with y'all and how we connect with each other a little. But we'll start with just a grounding breath. Feel free to just sit comfortably. You can just listen along or you can participate. You've got your mask on, so nobody really knows what you're doing anyways, so no pressure. Go ahead and just take a second to sit where you are. Feel your body, feel the pew underneath you, maybe your feet on the ground. A nice deep breath in and let it out slow. We'll take just a few breaths together. As we slowly breathe in and out. In and out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let the next breath be the deepest breath you've taken all day, all week. Slow in. And then let everything go. As you sit right where you are right now, take a second just to notice how you feel. What's coming up for you? What's falling away? What's staying the same? It's all just information our body's giving us. If we have a pain in our back or our knee, rather than judging ourselves, maybe saying, oh, my posture's bad or something like that, just accepting there's information there. Maybe there's some care I can direct there. I think this kind of practice, whether it be meditation, taking just a few simple breaths, listening to a Dharma talk or chanting together, this kind of intimacy is, for me, really vital to how I learn to be in Sangha and express kind of the Dharma. There's a quote by Dogen, who's a famous Zen monk from a long time ago, and he says, "Enlightenment is intimacy with all things." And I was thinking about that this week really hard. It felt like a really beautiful sentiment to hear, and I was just questioning, what do I think intimacy is? What does it mean to be close to somebody, to be close to myself, to be able to trust and relax and find an ease in my closeness? And I think in meditation and Zenshin, we have the opportunity, but even here, just being a Sangha together, we have the opportunity to develop this kind of deep listen, that what comes up when I slow down. And so a couple of examples of that I was thinking of this week. We have, I won't make you all receive the keisaku, but we have the keisaku, right? This big stick that goes, well, we have two that walk around, but this is the single one that goes around during meditation. We've been sitting for a while, we're kind of halfway through. Maybe some people are falling asleep a little. Maybe some people are just getting fidgety and can't find their way. And at first glance, seeing somebody walk around and, put this on everybody's shoulder, be like, all right, lean your head. I do a little warm up where I get the right spot, and then pop, pop, two pretty good slaps, both sides. At first, it can seem punitive. It can seem like we're just trying to jostle people or wake them up really brutally. It can seem kind of harsh. And a lot of meditative practices, or not even meditative practices, but just like dealing with ourselves, can be kind of harsh, right? To look at the things we want to change in ourselves, or to look at the parts of us that are hurt or have hurt other people, that is not always comfortable. Healing is can be kind of a gruesome process sometimes for our bodies and our minds. And in receiving the keisaku, it's not about the pain, if there's pain, it's not about hitting somebody, but it's about becoming intimate with your body again, right? When we walk around here, it's kind of voluntary. You put your palms together if you want it, you don't if you don't. But when I'm at the monastery, the Zen monastery I train at, so things are a little less voluntary there sometimes. And really the judge of whoever's the head monk of the hall at that time who administers the hits, their job isn't to see who looks lazy, who looks tired, they're not looking for bad qualities like that in people. They're seeing who doesn't look like they're in their body anymore, who's not here, who's left, who is not able to connect with themselves right now because they're frustrated, because they're uncomfortable, because their posture is bugging them, because their mind's going crazy. Who needs just a moment to join yourself, to be intimate with your own body, and to relearn what it is to breathe, to be right here. I think it takes a lot of the shame out of how we process and understand hard things when we can view them as opportunities for intimacy with ourselves, for ways to connect and trust what we already know, the ways we know how to calm down, even if they're not accessible. We know how to do them. Right? Even the youngest people here, I'm sure you've had a hard day and just taken a few deep breaths, like outside or at home, or your siblings are bothering you, and you just have to like, okay, right? I can't throw a shoe at them, so I'm gonna have to do something else, right? You have all those skills. You've had them since you were born. And so we lose some of them get hard to access, but they were never not natural to us. They were never not that base intimacy that we have between a kid and their parent breathing together, chest to chest after being born, right? That same kind of intimacy we can build for ourselves, which means we can build that same kind of safety. That's what I've been thinking about a lot this week. And one more quote that I was thinking of was from bell hooks, which is, healing cannot happen in isolation. Healing is an act of communion. And I really like this quote, especially in pairing with thinking of self-intimacy, intimacy with my breath, knowing who I am at the bottom of a really relaxed breath and who I am when I'm panting almost, right? Knowing the steadiness under that, moving that outside of me as well, right? Looking to Amida, looking to our Sangha. It's not ever just me. Even though I have all the tools, they don't work in isolation. They don't work in a vacuum. The way that we heal is interdependent with everybody around us, like the sutras tell us. And in thinking of healing as an act of communion and an act of intimacy, I think it feels really hopeful to me to think of what we could dream up in being more intimate with the healing process for all of us, being more open to naming exactly our suffering. Because when we're intimate with our suffering, we're intimate with our healing. Both of these things are not so scary, not so far away from us, but they're things we live in our body, right? When we're chanting, we're not just saying things. Sometimes we don't even maybe know the translation. We have to look it up later. Or even if we've looked it up, we forget. But there's still something that moves us in those sounds, right? And there's, a bunch of theories about that. But at the heart of it, for me, I think is I'm becoming intimate with my own voice and expression and how that fits into the expression continually around me. How does my voice sound with everybody while we chant? Is it sticking out? Is it blending in? Neither is bad or right, but where am I right now? Do I feel located in my body, and do I know what's really happening? And for me, the path is slowly clearing everything away, finding out what's really happening. So thank you for listening to me today. I'm so happy to be here with you all. I think above any of the complicated things or the thinking too hard about all of our shared traumas and griefs, the shared intimacy we have in just being able to breathe, sit next to each other, be here in this space, be here virtually, and even just find our breath again. Take that second to remember who and what and how expansive we are, I think frees us up to a little bit more of a harmonious communal living with each other. So that's my sharing today. I hope you all got something out of it, or if not, I hope you got a chance to just think some nice thoughts for yourself. Thank you. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Buddhaya.